This season of Ventures ends November 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is 2 weeks away as of this video being recorded, and that's also the exact starting point of the very next season. So that's the blue cutoff here on the timeline. Crackshot, Sliceable, Zenith is all coming out right away. It's going to be a fun start to the next season in Frozen Fjords, but we're going to get ahead of ourselves. This is what I'm here to talk about. Everything's still available in the event store. The 2 quest lines that are still remaining, Clip, Dire, and Raven, have already left, unfortunately. So if you really wanted one of the best farming heroes in the game, she's already gone. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to voucher her. But Chaos Agent and the dungeon stuff is still here, but all of that is going to cost a lot of gold. Now, with 2 weeks left on the timer, you have plenty of time to get all of these items, but if you really want to get gold quickly, I'm going to recommend my cram session video right here. The Safe, Cracking, and Mimic Quest Easy video. This is very, very good for showing consistent safe spawns in Inferno. You can get all the safe cracking quests done. That's 9,000 gold, plus an extra 1,000 just from running 10 games is pretty reasonable. So I say it's 10,000 plus gold in 2 hours. And that's honestly a safe estimate. It'll probably take you less than 2 hours. It's really, really good. And you can also do the chests alongside that quest. So you can get the chest done for the evolution materials and all the gold from the safes. It's a pretty good quest line to do. And I highly recommend doing that. If you want to see that in game here, you can go to the cram session section and the safe cracking quest is right here. I've left it incomplete just so I can show it easily, but you should do this. It's a lot of gold. Now, let's go left to right and talk about everything important that is going away. Eye of the Brainstorm is here. This is a good quest because the Pulse Pounder and the Star Shooter are 2 weapons that are only available through this quest. And if you want these new invasion weapons, they came out last year, so they're still kind of new as far as Save the World moves. Brainstorm is also here as well. You might as well grab this before it goes. They're pretty easy to do, and as I was doing earlier today, you can actually run them alongside the Door to Darkness quest line. This is all in the hotel. I was doing it on my noob account, not my main, that's why this is not progressed at all, but Willow, pretty decent hero. I've never really taken advantage of her in like any build that I've ran, but she's there, you know, she adds ability damage based on missing health, kind of nice to have, and I wanted to point those out. Then of course, cram session, not just safe cracking, but all of these are available for the rest of the season, so 2 weeks left on the timer for those. Moving left to right, let's go to the llamas here. Fortnitemares llamas. They are not the most exciting llamas in the world in my opinion, but there are some key things you want to note. First and foremost, they can give you legendary survivors. That is extremely important if you're trying to raise your power level. I'll link my power level video in the description down below if I can remember to do so, but I also have that video recommended in here, the speedrunning video. This is a really, really good video showing you how to get through Inferno again very, very quickly. You can get a couple thousand candy an hour, and that translates to llamas, and those llamas translate to legendary survivors. So you can functionally farm legendary survivors just by speedrunning dungeons. And we can actually go through the event schematics here, go down to the black metal set all the way up here. Am I blind? Yes, okay. So, the Blackout AR used to be hailed as one of the best weapons in the entire game. Still is, honestly. But the loadout that made this weapon so insane is pretty nerfed by the fact that Fallen Lover Jonesy no longer gives you as much energy as he used to, which is pretty tough. Dirge Song is not available through these llamas, but the Black Drum shotgun is pretty good. The Midnight Stalker is pretty good. Night Owl is pretty garbage. Metal Marauder is not available through the llamas, but it does come out in the event shop next week as of this video going up, so we'll talk about that later on. But all the melees in the set, even maybe the Black Blade, AS407, the community has been championing this weapon very hard. Certain loadouts make it kind of okay, but all of the melees are pretty decent. So Brood Slicer, Nightfall are available from the llamas at least. You might want to go ahead and pick them up. I think the Husk Grinder is just in the llama shop, so maybe I missed it and we'll get back to that later. But there are also some heroes. Now, I don't even know specifically who actually comes from these llamas. I think they're all labeled here. So anything that has a purple variant is available in the llamas. Nothing too insane other than, I suppose, Beetle Jess is very, very good. She gives you a massive crit damage bonus. She's a sledgehammer of pistols and SMGs. That's basically it. She and Sledge overlap on SMGs, but then she does pistols and he does ARs. So very, very good. If you want to take advantage of Chaos Agent by dashing and reloading at the same time, it's very, very strong and very, very good here to pick up. And there's also the reloading buffs up here. Am I blind again? I am. So is she not available in the llamas? She says promotional. Yeah, in the llama shop. Yeah, Fortnitemares llamas. There you go. God, I don't know why I'm so confused by this. Weapon damage bonus by reloading. Very good here to have. That Skull Ranger and Skull Trooper are both available from these llamas. Both are very strong. And then we got Ghoul Trooper. She adds 3 seconds to Warcry. Actually pretty strong. If you're using a Warcry build, you're going to want to have her. She's available in the llamas, and I'm pointing out all of this is stuff you don't want to miss out on. And honestly, even Hotep comes into a lot of builds very often, because reducing the energy cost of Dragon Slash makes the usability of your abilities as a ninja very good. So Dragon Slash being the most expensive, reducing that can be significant sometimes. So yeah, you definitely want to crack open these llamas and make sure you get all those heroes. I also want to go back to the left because I messed up again. Dungeons. I always forget to call this out. Dungeons gives you Chaos Agent. All you got to do is run the crypts 1 time, unlock the lab, and then go run the lab 3 times. Chaos Agent reloads your weapons when you use an ability. That is extremely useful. That is the phase shift thing I just mentioned earlier, but it also works for grenades, shockwaves, war cries. Very strong hero. He gives a functional damage bonus of about 80% to shotguns and their loadouts. That's insane. That's insane, because the ground powder has a 5-second reload time, and reducing that to about half a second with him is stupidly good. It's very, very strong. I've killed mini bosses with just a ground pounder or a huskbuster in less than 30 seconds. It's fantastic. Solo, like, it's actually very, very strong to use him. So yeah, Fort Nightmares Llamas, very much worth cracking open. Now, in the event section, let's talk about the best items that you want to grab in order of importance. Obviously, the Plasmatic Discharger. This thing is the Smasher and Storm King end phase killer of the game. It is often misused. It's so good. Let me talk about this more specifically. It does extra damage, about 7.5 times more damage, meaning it's ticking its damage about every 0.2 seconds, so 5 times a second instead of every 1.5 seconds. It's ticking that often towards Smashers, Takers, and the Storm King end phase. So in those settings, it's fantastic. Where I see people go wrong is they'll use this on a Smokescreen Smasher mini-boss, which is reducing your damage by 75%, and it is no longer ideal to use the Discharger. You should be using a melee like the Storm King's Ravager. Spectral Blade is in the shop we got here, and there's a bunch of other melees. I might link that video down below, but it's a bit off topic. It's easy to find on my channel. The best melees are well documented on my channel. So don't use this versus Smokescreen. And when it comes to mini bosses, don't use it on non-smashers. So basic husk models, husky husk models, not ideal. You want to use this versus smasher models exclusively if it's not smokescreen or trap vulnerable. Or Ricochet, for that matter. So just be wary of the modifiers of your mini-boss. This is not a kill-everything weapon. It does have its limitations, but it is fantastic when used appropriately. The other thing I might as well mention, since it's right here, is the Spectral Blade. This is an S-tier melee, extremely good weapon. Triple attack speed, triple crit damage, crit rating, double crit damage, and attack speed. It's a very, very strong weapon with a lot of combinations. Bright Core, Sunbeam, best perks for this weapon, link down below. Very, very good weapon to pick up, and best perks for the Discharger. They might seem obvious, but there are a couple, well, no, it's pretty much crit rating, crit damage, double miss monsters, but Slowed and Snared actually has kind of an argument. It's like a little bit better, but it doesn't give you that much extra damage versus mini bosses. It's tricky, but not really. It's a pretty straightforward weapon, but I have so many videos on this weapon that I'm gonna link it down below anyway. It's a lot to cover. Now, something that's definitely worth picking up is the Dirge Song. This thing is insane. My new, let me actually link it in stream chat since I'm recording this on stream. There we go. I did not have this prepped for some stupid reason. Mute. There we go. He's already muted. So yeah, this is the newest, strongest loadout in the game. Basically, you're just using the Dirge Song to shoot, reload for 1 second, shoot, reload for 1 second, shoot, reload for 1 second. I don't know why my video was so laggy when I recorded this, but yeah, it's very, very, very strong if you have the right build for it. This video will be linked down below if you want to make the right build for it, but Dirge Song is an extremely good weapon. In the right loadout, I genuinely believe it is the strongest weapon in the game. It's not universally the strongest. You don't want to use this in a water zone, for example, but in a nature or a fire zone, or honestly, probably still a water zone, it's ridiculous. You're booming for millions of damage, and it is very, very strong. The Gravedigger. It's not just a beautiful weapon, it's actually pretty strong. Link down below. You can check out the video if you guys want to see this in action. It's a very, very good weapon, fan favorite. It's here. It's here for the next couple weeks. Definitely want to grab it before it goes away. The first and pretty much only hero I'm going to mention is Arlene Iza. She makes melees very good. She gives you health based on your missing health or by how much damage you're doing. If you have a strong, totally rocking out melee, she will heal you enough to not even need coconuts. It's very, very good to have her, so yeah, Arlene Iza is, in fact, I can probably show this without any prep whatsoever. I probably just have her in one of my melee builds, so not Paleoluna, but yeah, there she is in my Cloak Shadow build, so there you go. This should be a video on the channel at some point, if you want to just steal that and you know who those heroes are. Arlene Iza, very, very good. And then lastly, Metal Marauder. It's not visible here, but maybe I can go track it down while I'm talking. Metal Marauder is a really good launcher. It does a lot of damage. It's locked to fire and physical, but that's kind of normal, and apparently I don't know where M's are, so we're just gonna have to find this the painful way. Maverick. Metal Marauder. There we go. Yeah, very, very, very strong weapon. That comes out soon. Definitely a good one to pick up if you like launchers doing lots of damage. For the rest of the shop, there's not really much worth mentioning. Bloodfinder does some extra anti-material charge damage. That's kind of fun next season where your anti-material charge is free, but it's not really carrying you. Sanguine Dusk is less strong than she should be. Jonesy Bot has been broken for most of his existence and kind of helps you if you can consistently hit headshots. Plague Doctor Igor is the most collection book prone hero I've ever seen. Ragnarok is pretty good. Seismic Smash is pretty strong. Underrated ability if you ask me. 3,200 gold is a big pill to swallow. So if you have the extra, you can go for them, but I don't know. Then, of course, we've got the Candy Corn LMG, overhyped as hell. This thing can be triple crit damage, and it's a big LMG. It does lots of damage, but it's locked to physical, which makes it next to useless in the end game, unfortunately. I'd love to love this weapon, but it needs elements or else it just can't hang. Ghost Pistol is super fun. Link to this video down below. It's pretty cool. It shoots through targets, but it's a slow-moving projectile that doesn't do a ridiculous amount of damage. So it's a fun, gimmicky weapon at best. And then we actually already discussed these melees, so I'm not going to get too far into it. And then last, because I forget every single time, it's even last in my notes. When you are talking about Fortnitemare's llamas, I should have mentioned this a while ago, you can get the legendary husks from those llamas, which can allow you to unlock your one copy of the Jack-o'-Launcher. If you got it when it was available from the shop in like 2018, you can have 2 copies, but as of today, there is only one single copy you are able to get, and it is from these llamas. It's pure RNG, so get a lot of tickets and hope for the best, but that is the last thing worth mentioning. The Jack-o'-Launcher is actually a very strong weapon. It's not just a trophy. It is actually like top 7 strongest launchers. It's pretty good. So yeah, there you go. There's your big reminder video. Little breakdown of everything that's available now and everything you should get. I don't even think I mentioned what's coming out with the Metal Marauder. Oh, the third rail. Yeah. Technically the hardest hitting weapon in the game, but also really hard to take advantage of it. So I don't really recommend it in any seriousness, but it's there if you want to pick it up. And that's it. All right, I'm out of here. Goodbye. Subscribe, like the video. I'll see you guys next season, and enjoy the rest of this season, you guys.